as we kick off the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Universe 13 manga chapter special, with Whis having to intensely observe how Goku and Broly are training, as he then went along to tell Vegeta, "It is obvious that my father sees something within you all, Vegeta. My brother has proven to be the driving force for all of this chaos, but our laws prohibit us from taking any action unless called forth. If Merno doesn't want to destroy the multiverse right away, then what could he be waiting for then? I can only hope that both Goku and Broly could improve enough to fully take on and destroy Merno. Unless we, the Angels, are forced into combat, it all boils down to you to make sure that he is defeated once and for all. However, I sense an unsettling disturbance somewhere out there. Where are you, Merno?" Because Whis drives the narrative forward that unless of course the Angels are called forth to combat Merno, then right now it is solely up to Goku, Vegeta, and Broly to make sure that Merno's reign is permanently put to an end. As we only then go back to Kame's lookout, we observe how both Golden Frieza and Super Buu are shown on the lookout speaking. Super Buu then went along to tell Frieza, "Something doesn't feel right, Frieza. Although we've watched him blow himself up, why would he resort to doing that as a last-ditched effort of attack? Even before he had blown himself up, we were no match for him. He kept us at bay like animals." As only then he proceeds to look at his hands, he then continues, "I can't help but shake this feeling of not having enough power to destroy that guy. I tried everything I could, and he still made us into fools." As Frieza went along to respond, "You can speak for yourself, Majin. He knew what he was in for when he battled me, so thus he was afraid and sealed us behind a wall to make sure I didn't kill him." As only then a voice goes on to tell them both, "So this is where you've been hiding, you annoying little rats. Did you really believe this was over?" As only then both Buu and Frieza turn around, we then observe how Merno is shown arriving through a portal on Kame's lookout, as he then went along to tell them, "I believe we have some business to settle, don't we?" So with Merno showing back up, he went as far as to claim that he in fact has unfinished business with Frieza and Buu, as he only then continues, "It surprises me to know that weak beings such as yourself are allowed to roam freely in this universe. I told you before that you two never stood a chance against me, and I proved it time and time again, but at the same time, I can sense your temptation of battle against me. So what's it going to be, warriors? Shall we finish what we started before?" With Super Buu then having to shout, "We saw you self-destruct! How did you possibly survive that?" As Merno went along to respond, "Well, that's easy. I'm simply smarter than the two of you." As this really aggravates Buu and Frieza, Frieza went along to then shout, "I'm sick of seeing your face all the damn time." With Frieza and Buu charging right in, Merno then went along to ask, "Oh, are you now? Well then, if you have such a problem with me being here," as both Buu and Frieza attempt to strike Merno with Merno blocking their punches, he only then continues, "Then what are the two of you possibly going to do about it to stop me from being here then?" And despite Super Buu and Golden Frieza knowing how strong Merno is, Super Buu then went along to punch Merno in the face by telling him, "You won't be getting away that easily this time. We destroyed you before, and we'll do it again." And the second we get to see how Super Buu connects a thunderous punch to Merno's face, it doesn't faze him, because Merno then slowly turns his head as Super Buu's fist is grinding into his cheek and telling him, "Then why are you struggling so much?" As Merno retaliates by then punching Buu in the face, he only then tells him, "You're not even worth my time anymore, worms. An eye for an eye." As he punches Buu away and then proceeds to knee Frieza in the ribs, he only then goes on to tell Frieza, "And you don't think I forgot about you either. You are nothing more than a golden target." And with Frieza and Buu having to be shown knocked back, they both went along to comment, "I can't feel my legs." With Buu responding, "Get up. We can't let him win this." And with Merno taunting them, he only then continues, "Does it bother you to know that you are both absolutely powerless to stop me? It should, because this is where it all comes to an end for the two of you. allow me to further show you what I can really do. So with Goku not being here, with Vegeta not being here, with the Grand Priest and Whis not being here, it's all down to Frieza and Super Buu to hold their own and survive against such a threat, and knowing how strong Merno truly is, they're trying to fight for their lives in maintaining their survival, as only then back on Beerus' planet, we then continue to observe how the Grand Priest, Whis, and Vegeta are overseeing Broly having to spar with Goku. As the Grand Priest went along to comment, it appears that both Goku and Broly are about to break their limit and use their full powers. Time is almost up. I would like for you to pay very close attention to what's about to happen, Vegeta. I need you to be just as strong when it's all said and done. Now let's watch as they evolve. And with Goku dialing it back from Super Saiyan Blue back to base, he only then closes his eyes as he then reactivates Mastered Ultra Instinct, and because of this trump card, this is Goku's most powerful transformation, but this doesn't prevent Broly from also going all out, because full-powered Super Saiyan Broly is shown transforming into Super Saiyan 3 and literally not holding anything back with Vegeta baffled. He only then went along to comment, Broly can reach Super Saiyan 3 now? But when did this happen? It's bad enough that he was trouble as a regular Super Saiyan, and now Kakarot's also going all out by using his Ultra Instinct. They've both evolved so much, it's amazing, because Vegeta wasn't expecting for Broly to become as powerful as he is now, courtesy of what happened with Merno, and with Goku now being cognitive enough to activate Ultra Instinct, it's a who's who of battles. As Broly charges right in, he only then went along to shout, "Die!" But Goku quickly counters by punching Broly directly in the face by telling him, "No you don't!" But as powerful as Broly is, this doesn't stop him from continuing his assault, because he only then goes on ahead to kick Goku down onto the ground, enforcing both Broly and Goku to charge right in. This has become a situation to where they're both running on time, and with Goku being at his most powerful state, as is Broly, they're both trying to gauge one another and seeing where they stand, to where by no means is this an easy battle for either individual, as we only then go back to Buu and Frieza. Frieza then went along to comment, "Damn this angel, he's just toying with us. I couldn't even budge him, and I hit him with everything I had. This Majin isn't standing any better of a chance either. If this goes on, then we're going to be slaughtered out here." With Buu shown having to engage against Merno, he only then went along to shout, "Frieza, I can't hold him any longer." With Merno then kicking Buu away, he then went along to comment, "Oh wait with you, creature. What happened? I thought you both said you were going to get rid of me. Where did all that energy go? Don't tell me I beat it out of you now." How pathetic. How about we play a little game then before you die? I think it would add on to the excitement before you die. As Merno then creates a portal next to him, he only then continues, "Whoever I pull out of this portal will be your partner in this fight. I'm already tired of fighting you worms, so I'd figure I'd give you a helping hand before I finish you both off for good. I'm going to draw at random. Whoever emerges from this portal will also die once I'm done having my fun. So consider this your final miracle before extinction. Now let's see what unfortunate soul will join you in the afterlife." As Merno then decides to stick his hand through the portal in digging through to see who he finds, it is only then at that moment where we get to see how a hand is extended right through and punching Merno directly in the face, and Merno is hit with such force that he is sent flying directly into the palace on Kame's lookout, and through the portal itself, we only then see how Universe 11's mightiest warrior Jiren steps through in an absolutely stunning fashion. As Merno is shown clutching onto his face, he only then comments, "Warrior of the 11th, Jiren. How dare you strike me with your filthy fist, mortal? You're asking for an early burial." As Jiren went along to respond, "So you're the one responsible for this mess. An angel, I see." Because this was the last thing that Merno was expecting to have happen, because even though he stands as a superior angel, he wasn't expecting for someone like Jiren to step through. Although the portal had opened up at random, it only went as far as to show us that the portal ended up opening up in Universe 11, and because Merno wanted to choose at random, unfortunately for him, he indirectly chose Jiren. But with Merno then having to be shown rising back up, he then went along to comment, "Indeed I am. And I am also very much well aware of who you are as well. I was hoping to deal with you at a later time, but since you volunteered yourself as a sacrifice, then I'll be happy to answer your prayers. If you feel so confident, then make your move. And right before Merno can finish, that's exactly what Jiren ends up doing, because Merno went along to comment, "What?" With Jiren getting right in Merno's face and attacking him without wasting any time, Merno ends up defending himself as he went along to comment, "You're a lot stronger than I expected you to be, trooper," as he quickly ducks under Jiren's punch and connecting a devastating strike to Jiren's stomach. He then went along to tell him, "But it won't be enough to defeat me," but Jiren quickly counters as he tells him, "Think again," with Jiren then elbowing Merno right in the back of the neck. But not only that, it is only at that moment where Super Boo interjects himself in also having to swoop on in and connecting a thunderous left haymaker to Merno's face. Merno's completely taken back as Frieza ends up doing the same thing. He ends up coming up from behind Merno and kicking him in the spine and telling him, "You seem a bit distracted." And with Merno shown frustrated, he then went along to shout, "Enough! You worms are getting far ahead of yourselves. Attacking me from behind won't guarantee anything other than your deaths. Just who do you think you're fighting here? I am beyond all of you combined." With Jiren having to be shown side by side with Golden, Frieza, and Boo, he then went along to ask, "Then what's stopping you from fighting us, Angel?" As Merno replies, "You weren't even supposed to be here in the first place. But I suppose Universe 11 is next on my destruction list once I'm done ripping you to pieces in the 7th. You disgusting excuse for a life form." And this really doesn't sit well with Jiren, because once again Jiren quickly charges directly at Merno and attacking him, but with Merno having to create a portal in front of Jiren, he only then sends Jiren back to the 11th and telling him, "Back you go, I'll be settling my score with you later." So Merno was not risking the fact of having Jiren around and assisting Boo and Frieza, but instead sent him back to the 11th universe and promises that he will be paying him a visit when the time is right and once he's finished with his business in the 7th universe. And with Jiren gone, Merno then went along to tell everyone, "I got everything I needed from you worms here. You can barely even stand, let alone continue. I know what I must do. I win, as usual, but it just dawned on me. Why kill you here and now when I can kill you all together and have you all watch one another's destruction?" As he only then creates a portal, he then continues, "I didn't forget about your friends either. Excuse me while I go get them. It's time I take you all out as one and be done with you all for good." And with Merno shown having to step through the portal, he only then tells them, "I will see you both very soon." And with Merno then having to be shown leaving, Frieza reverts back to his final form and commenting, "Curse him! My powers are crippled. How am I this damaged?" With Super Boo also noticing a change in his body, he only then comments, "Oh no," as moments later Majin Buu defuses from the androids Gohan, Gotenks, and Roshi as they all cry out, "We've defused!" As only then the manga chapter special then comes to a close.